What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to the scorecard, the boxing scorecard, where I ask people to bring your scorecard and an explanation, not just simply your opinion. Last night, we had a not so competitive match. Wasn't even a need for a scorecard. It was more of a stay busy fight with Jaime Munguia versus Gonzalo Coria. There was no belt on the line here. I think, like I said, this was just a stay busy fight for Jaime Munguia at the 160-pound division. Let's go through the stats real quick. You know, I like to pronounce these guys' names properly. So the challenger from Argentina, Gonzalo Gaston Coria, nickname El Mago. Somebody look up what El Mago means, please. El Mago from Argentina. He has a record of 21 wins with only 8 knockouts. So obviously he's more of a boxer, definitely not a power puncher. That is less than that's only like a 30% KO rating. So not very high. Definitely not a power puncher. And he went up against Jaime Munguia, but I want to pronounce his full name properly. So his full name is Jaime Aron Munguia Escobedo. Now that is a cool sounding name. Jaime Aron Munguia Escobedo. JB Munguia from Mexico. His record, okay, so El Mago is Spanish for the magician. Thank you very much, Mr. Barrington. Greatly appreciated. Good morning on this Sunday morning here. Jaime Munguia, his record is 41 wins with 33 knockouts. That is an 80% knockout percentage. So if you fight this guy, there's an 80% chance you're getting stopped. And power puncher too with those punches. It's kind of it's easy to say, you know, people throw this term around all the time, like a boxer puncher or a puncher boxer. They're kind of intertwined, but like sometimes you'll get a guy that is they try to show their boxing skills, but really what they're just trying to do is take your head off. And then there's other guys who don't necessarily have the technical skill, and all they can rely on is really trying to take your head off. So that comes with experience of watching to be able to tell which one is rich, because there's a difference. And the challenger, Mr. Coria, he's one of those guys that tries to fight with power, but with only 8 KOs in 21 matches, he should stick to more of trying to be a boxer than a puncher. Let's get through those picks now, please. The only pick from the fight picks, you know, it's funny, man, because sometimes I don't know who's in charge of taking the picks beside the ring, but they don't always have the best ones. I can only find one of the picks that Coria actually landed a punch on Munguia. Even though it was only 3 rounds, let's just go through it real quick. First round, I gave all 3 rounds to Munguia. Munguia knocked down straight right from Coria. Oh, countering off of straight rights from Coria. So the challenger, Coria, he was Gonzalo. Actually, I'm going to call him Gonzalo. That sounds, usually I call them by their last name, but Gonzalo, that sounds cool. I'm going to call him that. That's his first name. Gonzalo is a southpaw. I mean, he stands with his right foot forward, right shoulder forward. Jaime Munguia is orthodox, left foot forward, left shoulder forward. Near the end of the first round, Gonzalo threw a jab. Munguia slipped it into a straight right hand down the middle and dropped Coria. So that made it obviously a 10-8 round once you get dropped. The second round, I also marked it as a 10-8 round. Munguia is just in that seek and destroy. That's another form. Like sometimes you can tell, again, in a match, you know, the first 2 rounds might be a little bit boring for people to watch because both guys are just trying to feel each other out. But then there's cases where a boxer is not trying to feel out to see what you're going to do. He just has the mentality of seek and destroy. Just straight up coming after you, cutting you off and coming forward. And the only thing that's going to stop is you doing lateral movement or getting out of the way. But if you stand there, it's going to be a war. And Gonzalo does not have the power to go to war. So that was his downfall. He did land a couple punches, as you see as we go through the picks here. He did land one or two good ones, but not enough to get the respect from Mr. Munguia. Maybe we could flip through a few more picks here. Round 3. Also, round 3 was the end of it. That was the seek and destroy round. Gonzalo knew what he was facing. He like mentally, physically, I think he could have continued. Physically, I think he could have continued, but mentally, he knew that there was nothing that he had to offer. He knew he had nothing to offer Munguia that was going to slow down the attack. So it was good for the referee to stop it in that third round there. And yeah, like I said, this was more of a stay busy fight for Mr. Munguia. Let me pull up the rankings here, the boxing rankings, and see where he would go next. So the middleweight division at 160 pounds, 72.57 kilos. Let's see where Mr. Munguia ranks. So in the Ring magazine, which I have a problem with Ring magazine because they don't have Devin Haney up in there for some reason. So you know what? F Ring magazine. We're not going to talk about their rankings. The WBA has Jaime Munguia at number 2. They have Triple G as the number 1 guy still. I don't really agree with Triple G as being the number 1 guy. My man Mike, what up? What up? I don't agree with Triple G as being the number 1 guy anymore, just as because of his last performance against Canelo. Now, I'm wondering if they have him at the number 1 spot, does he actually have those belts, or they just have him ranked there? That's what I'm wondering. Anyways, so in the WBA rankings, Jaime Munguia is ranked number 2. I think him and Chris Eubanks Jr. would be a good fight. Chris Eubanks Jr., Ryota Murata gave Triple G a few good rounds there. This punch landed right here. This is like probably the only, no, I shouldn't say the only one, because at the end of the fight, Munguia, he had a little mark, like not a little one, a big mark underneath his right eye. This punch that you see is landing on the left side of his face. So that maybe was the second punch that he got hit with. But he did have a little mark underneath his right eye. So Coria, if he did have power, this pick goes to show you, if Gonzalo actually had power, this punch landed right here would have done some serious damage to Munguia. Obviously Gonzalo is a good boxer. You can see by the accuracy of his punches, but the power, not so much. All right, back to the rankings. In the WBC has Jaime Munguia ranked as number 2. Carlos Adames and Jermell Charlo are ahead of him. This guy, Carlos Adames, Adams or Adames, it's Adames. So however you pronounce that, Adames. This is one of those guys that sneaks up through the division, because I don't know what country he's from. Either South America or overseas, but he's one of those guys that sneaks up in the ranks. So you're not going to, because he's not really on social media. He doesn't really do a lot of interviews. As I told you about these guys that don't speak English and don't do a lot of interviews, they could kind of sneak up behind people without people noticing them, right? And this guy, Carlos Adames, is ranked number 1 WBC. Now, the thing that I keep hearing about him is that he is one of the hardest punchers out there. The skill level is not there, but he makes up for it with his power. And this is coming from the people that spar him. I just was listening to an interview with what's his name? Fernando Vargas' son. He has 3 sons that box right now, but one of the sons just fought, and he was just on a show the other day. And he said he spars with Carlos Adames, and he said he's one of the hardest. Like, people don't like to spar with him because, you know, in sparring you could kind of control your power, right? It's just, well, depending if you're getting ready for a big fight, then you kind of go harder. But like, just in general, sparring, you kind of want to go a little bit lighter. But guys like Carlos Adames, from what I understand, there's no light punching with him. It's all power, trying to take your head off. and that's good to get people ready for fights. That's why people like sparring him. And but again, at the highest level, you need the skills to match up your power. So it's going to be interesting. Anyways, I bring Carlos's name up because that would be a good potential opponent for Mr. Munguia. Although financially, I don't think it would be that profitable because, again, Munguia don't speak English. He's a very good boxer, ranked high, but he don't speak English. So he doesn't really do a lot of interviews, so people don't really promote him. So when you're scrolling through your social media, his name's not going to pop up as much. Same thing with Ryota Murata from Japan. Good fighter too, but nobody really knows him. Who else we got? All the rest of the names are a bunch of European guys that nobody really knows in the WBC. The IBF, I kind of have questions about them too. They don't even have. Oh, they have Munguia ranked all the way down at number 8. Who they got in front of him? Vincenzo Gutierrez, Patrice Volney, Martin. Who are all these guys? Yo, IBF, you guys. Esquiva Falco is number 2. Who the hell? Anyways, I got to look into this IBF rankings. I've never even heard of most of these guys here. WBO, the champion, they have Jaime Munguia at number 1. The top guy is Janibek, the boogeyman, who didn't look so much like a boogeyman last week. But Janibek from Kazakhstan with a Kazakh style. He's number 1. They got Chris Eubanks Jr. down at number 4. Carlos Adames at number 5. Number 2 is vacant. Jaime Munguia is ranked number 1 or 2nd, I guess the challenging one at WBO. Oh, we got a few comments here. Mike Emilio, okay, that's his name, Emilio Vargas. He's the one that sparred Carlos Adames and said that, every punch is hard, so he keeps you on your toes. Adames gives 100% sparring just like in the ring. Yes, he definitely does. That's because Munguia is a 9-year pro and still hasn't fought anyone big. Yes. Now, with that being said, thank you for that, Mike. You got to look at where they started and what the goal is. Because, for example, you said he's been a pro for 9 years and hasn't fought anybody yet. Maybe they are still. I don't know this. I'm just giving them the benefit of the doubt. BoxRec says Coria was ranked at 67th. What do you mean at 67th? 67th number out of 100 or something like that? Come on, give me some more detail on that comment there. Anyways, Jaime Munguia. Shit, I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Jaime Munguia at the 160-pound division. His promoters are protecting them like he should have been calling out Charlo Triple G by now already. Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me. After the fight, Jaime Munguia said that he was looking next year to fight Triple G. That a couple of years ago, Triple G would have been the overwhelming favorite. Now, judging by Triple G's performance against Canelo, I think the odds if Munguia and Triple G fought each other would be a lot closer. Definitely would be a lot closer. Gonzalo was ranked 67th before that fight, world ranking. Well, yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, I wonder how that fight came about. Like, they had to pick a guy that was 67th. Like, you couldn't pick a guy at least in the 20s just for a tune-up fight. Anyways, I guess whoever's available at the time, and for not that much money too. So, anyways, going back to the development, some guys take a little bit longer to develop than others. For example, an example would be like if you didn't have a deep amateur career, then they would give you some more when you turn pro. They would give you some more C level and B level competition before you step up to A. A perfect example is Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder only had, I'm pretty sure, like 2 years amateur experience, 2 or 3 years at the most amateur experience. And within that 3 years, he won a bronze medal at the Olympics. That shows you how far his power took him, because that's obviously his main attribute is his power. But, just because you have power does not make you win fights. But when you have that extra gear of power, that's when you can win a bronze medal at the Olympics. So anyways, my whole point of bringing Wilder up is that he probably had like 35, 40 fights before he stepped up in competition. He did well. Only person that took him out was Tyson Fury. Other than that, everybody else went to sleep with Deontay Wilder. So as far as Jaime Munguia, he's kind of along the same path too. So when you say he's been a pro for 9 years and hasn't fought nobody yet, yes, yeah, that's true. That is true. He did fight a Canadian though a couple of fights ago. So shout out to the Canadian. I forgot his name, but I was going for him. My heart was going for him. So yeah, man, Jaime Munguia, he was calling out Triple G, but I don't know. I don't know how much of an exciting fight that would be now. Like that last fight with Triple G, man. I don't like to accuse fighters of just taking fights just for a paycheck. I really don't like to do that. I don't like to do that. However, that fight with Triple G and Canelo, I don't know, man. I honestly, the way that Triple G was not trying, I honestly believe he took that fight already knowing he was going to lose and just wanted one last big paycheck because he's not getting another. He's not. No one, Canelo. Whoever fights Canelo, that's your biggest paycheck of your career. So he already fought him twice. He probably just wanted one more big paycheck and just wanted to survive and not get knocked out so he can continue his career and fight other guys and still get some good paychecks. But someone like Jaime Munguia, well, actually, Canelo said some dumb stuff too, talking about he'll never fight another Mexican. That is so dumb. Like boxing is boxing, man. Like there's only one situation that I could understand why the person didn't want to fight the other person, and it was an acceptable reason. The Klitschko brothers, when one of them was the champion, the other brother, like technically because of the rankings, the other brother was the number one challenger. Like obviously you're not gonna fight your brother, man. Like that's the only situation where I think it would be acceptable for the two number one and number two guys not to fight each other if you're actually blood brothers. That's the only situation. But Canelo talking about he'll never fight another Mexican and da. Like, come on, man. Like who? And then he's talking about, anyways, this is not a Canelo show. I can make a whole thing. And much respect to Canelo, has a good career, but some of his comments lately have been kind of suspect. So it's been kind of suspect. So I'm just going off who I think Jaime Munguia should fight next. Where's all the comments at? Shout out to Mike. Shout out to Eddie Barrington. Where are your comments? Who do you think Munguia should fight next? There's lots of guys that would be good fights for him. Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius Andrade has been looking for someone. For those of you that don't remember, Demetrius Andrade was the guy that showed up to the Canelo press conference and caused some commotion a couple of fights ago. My only problem with Demetrius Andrade, again, he didn't capitalize off of that because when he showed up to that Canelo press conference and was talking all that trash, the whole boxing world was talking about it. All the podcasts I listened to, everyone was talking about Demetrius Andrade. So he had a lot of people talking about him. And then he didn't follow up on it. He didn't do any interviews. He didn't schedule a fight anytime soon after that. He did have a fight scheduled and then backed out of it for some reason. I don't know. I'm sure he had a valid reason, but he didn't. My whole point is he didn't capitalize off of the extra popularity that he got from that Canelo press conference when he tried to crash it. Chris Eubanks Jr. Yes, I've mentioned that before. Jaime Munguia versus Chris Eubanks Jr. That's actually probably the best one financially for both fighters and financially, because that win would be a good win on both of those guys' resumes, and also financially, I'm assuming that fight would be in the UK. Chris Eubanks Jr. is very, very popular over there. Probably have it at that O2 Arena or Wembley Stadium, one of them big ass stadiums where they got like 80,000 people. I don't know if this fight's gonna garner 80,000 people, but probably them UK people, man, they love their boxing, football, soccer, football, and boxing. Those guys. Much respect to the UK boxing fans because they really show up. So yeah, Chris Eubanks Jr. versus Jaime Munguia is what I'm looking for next. He becomes the number one contender. Or are you talking about Carlos Adames would be the number one contender? Or Jaime? Anyways, all those guys, Munguia, Chris Eubanks Jr., Adames, they're all in the top 5. They're all in the top 5. Eubanks Jr. ranked number 2 under Triple G. Yes, by the WBA. I got the rankings up here on my other laptop. The Ring magazine, even though F the Ring magazine, they have no champion. They got Triple G number 1, Charlo 2nd, Andre 3rd, Munguia 4th. WBA has Triple G and Irislandi Lara as their 2 champions. In brackets, it says S and R. I don't know what that means. Anyways, Chris Eubanks Jr. is the number 1 ranked guy, and Munguia is right behind him. They got Sergio Martinez in there too. Please don't tell me this is the same Sergio Martinez like from 15 years ago who retired. This better not be the same Sergio Martinez, man. That guy must be close to 50. How is he ranked number 3? No, that has to be a different Sergio Martinez. That has to be a different one. Who else we got? WBC got Charlo number 1, Adames number 2, and Jaime Munguia number 3. Chris Eubanks Jr. is right underneath that. IBF, yeah, I question them. These guys got some random names up in here. These random European guys I've never seen fight before. And the WBO, I mentioned before, they got the Boogeyman Janibek as their champion, Jaime Munguia number 2, Chris Eubanks Jr. all the way at number 4. So yeah, let's go with number 5 rank is Durachenko. Derevyachenko is another good competitor. Derevchenko is one of those guys that would give you a very good fight, but once again, nobody really knows who he is. So financially, it went. It'll get you the experience. Fighting a guy like Sergey Derevchenko will give you great experience inside the ring, just not financially. But you need both, man. You know, just because you're not just taking big fights and beating up bums. Because once at some point in time, you're gonna get exposed if you're not at that level. So yeah. So there we have it. There we have it as far as that fight goes. I gotta give, yeah, this was the knockdown. I think this was the knockdown that stopped the fight. Sorry, voice text spelled his name wrong. No, it's all good. I knew you were talking about. That's a pretty distinctive name, Derevyachenko. So there you have it. That is it for the pros. Before I forget, you could take those picks off now. I got to give a shout out. Well, yeah, perfect pick right there, Jaime Munguia, the winner. I got to give a shout out to the Canadian youth boxing team right now. Specific, a big shout out to one of my former boxers, Marie Almadia. She is she just came back actually from a tournament over in I forget what country it was, but an international tournament where she won the gold medal. She beat England's national champion and last year's European champion. Oh, that's what it was, the European Championships. Marie Almadia from Windsor, fighting out of Montreal now. She won the gold medal at the European Championships. This morning, right now, the Canadian youth team is in Spain at the Youth World Championships, and she won her first fight this morning against Mexico. She won 4-1. It was close. But the girl from Mexico was a lot busier. No, sorry, well, not a lot busier. The girl was busier and coming with that, you know, like Triple G was saying, that Mexican style, just coming forward. But Marie is so technically sound. Marie didn't throw as much, but the punches that she did land were accurate, cleaner. Jeu de pied, she had good footwork moving around. Still wish you threw a few more jabs and a few more fakes in there, but the way she boxed, like every time she boxes, you know, she gets better and better. She works her ass off, and her brother Keoma better watch out because she might get a few more medals than him. Yeah. Shout out to Marie. Shout out to the whole Canadian youth boxing team. Let's get her on Knuckle Up Female Friday. Yes, we will definitely do that. All right. I'm out. Thank you very much. If you haven't pressed the like button, please do that right now. And please share it too. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I'm here every Sunday, 9:30 a.m. If you can't catch the show live, you could catch the replay on any form of podcast that you listen to. Shout out to the Talkin Fight Boxing YouTube channel, the #1 boxing YouTube channel out there. You can hit me up also at Cedric Sports Training on YouTube or at Cedric Sports on any social media. Yeah. All right, man. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.